Caitlin Clark is the most important basketball player in the history of women's college basketball. There is a reason why she goes against UConn, and they draw 14 million plus viewers. It is not only the most watched women's college basketball game of all time, it is the most watched basketball game of all time on ESPN. In fact, topping that 2018 Game 7 between, I don't know, the greatest player of all time, behind Michael Jordan, of course, and LeBron James versus the Celtics, and that, back and forth Eastern Conference in 2018 when it went 7. What Caitlin Clark has done in putting this sport on her back, in catapulting it to a stratosphere that no one has ever seen before, is remarkable, and it's unprecedented, and she deserves all the love and praise in the world. But she is not close to being the greatest women's college basketball player of all time. She's the most important, but she's not the greatest. Breanna Stewart was a 3-time Women's College Basketball Player of the Year and a 4-time Most Outstanding Player of the Year in an NCAA tournament. Diana Taurasi, multiple-time Player of the Year, just like Caitlin Clark has been, but she's also a 2-time national champion. You can say the same exact thing about Maya Moore. I've watched all 3 of them play. I never had the privilege of watching Cheryl Miller, but the eye test, you look at what those 3 individuals, and 4 if you include Cheryl Miller, they were simply better all-around basketball players than Caitlin Clark. They were better athletes, and more importantly, they were multiple-time champions in women's college basketball. Can't say that about Caitlin Clark. Now, she has all the records, and I grant you that. But let's not be prisoners of the moment, because nobody said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the greatest NBA player of all time when he had the scoring record for almost 4 decades. No one said that. No one has said Pete Maravich is the greatest men's college basketball player of all time. That title belongs to either Kareem, Bill Walton, or Christian Laettner. Certainly not the case for Pete Maravich. Never had the hardware. Now, he had the all-time record when it comes to points, and no one has even come close, especially when you consider the fact that Pete did it in 3 years. But no one considers Pete the greatest college player of all time on the men's side, and no one considers Kareem the greatest NBA player